I'm a big fan of yours. I've been following you since Next Top Model, actually. Just could you give me some insight on their new show that's coming out?
My new show, I'm very excited about because it's the first time I was able to get creative credit on something I created, because in Hollywood a lot of people are like, oh yeah, you created that? Mine?
Yeah.
Like, think about Finding Nemo and that stupid, seagulls everywhere that steal everyone's shit. That is Hollywood. So this is the first time I was
Unless it tanks and it's
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah, yes. So this is the first time I was able to keep it close, and I'm like, yeah. So I executive produce, co-create, and host, and I tried to treat this as I would a television show, which I've worked in both posts, in front, behind, before, after production in. My show, basically, I sometimes didn't always have the budget for it, so I packed up my car, drove all the way up to San Francisco. My own dime, flew out to Chicago, and then from Chicago drove 4.5 hours to and fro Indiana to film. So this is a lot of my passion in it, and I think when you're passionate about something, it drives you to have a good product. And I just really wanted to feature true fandom. Everyone's all like, well, let's feature Comic-Con and Comic-Cons and It's like, no, Comic-Cons is where we get everything to throw into a cool layer. Let's feature the layers. Let's feature how much work someone puts into a costume that's so screen accurate, it's better than anything you've seen in a movie. Let's get to the nitty-gritty of this. And it was really awesome to delve into this world and learn so much about everyone, because where I'm passionate, these people are way more passionate. They're passionate like me, almost about to down the Lich King during Wrath on, World of Warcraft. I actually broke my computer and my mouse because I was so happy. I took my mouse and I smashed it into my keyboard, and I was like, yeah, I'm the fucking queen. And
I broke my mouse too playing World of Warcraft.
Oh,
yeah.
I go through keyboards all year. I buy the shittiest, cheapest ones because it's So it was just really cool to see people that had the same passion as me and who had way cooler shit. I have a friend who literally, if I stole one cabinet of his collectibles, probably put a kid through college. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was pretty rad, and I think it'll be cool for people to see me in my own element, because everybody has this preconceived notion of who you are. I feel like I was really robbed of who I was by winning a shitty reality show about models, because everyone's like, oh, she's a fucking idiot, like all the other ones. Well, so now I'm here I am, here's my shit. I even have my dad in the first episode that's explaining that he took me to every single sci-fi movie there ever was from the time I was born until I left, because my mom hated it and thought he was a weirdo, and we were the ones sitting there watching Star Trek together. My nickname was Chewbacca because I had really hairy arms and big feet, and my dad would be like, Chewie! Adrianne Curry was one too. Hey, laser hair removal, Italian bitch, I can't help it. So it's just cool to throw out who I really am out there, especially on the internet. Love the internet, worship the internet, it's my life.
I kind of wanted to build on her question. Do you, because I've seen you for a long time in a bunch of different shows.
Oh, for a long time?
Yeah. Do you regret doing those shows? Are you glad that you did them because it led you to ultimately something that you're happier doing now? Or
I'm glad I did them because I learned a lot by doing them. Top Model, I'm still owed $15,000 of my prize money almost a decade later. And I learned by opening my mouth and blowing the whistle on them, they did not fuck over not one more chick after me. And they made them sign contracts this thick that said, you may not stare Tyra Banks in the eye, you may not talk shit about her, because I was just fuck her, So I felt that I helped a lot of girls, and they even told me, they're like, thanks a lot for the Adrianne clause. I'm like, what's that? They're like, the phone book we get of things we have to sign that we can't do if we win or we're on the show. So I don't regret that. I don't even regret getting married to who was wrong for me, because I learned through it. Instead of chasing people who don't want me and people who yell at me for liking things that are cool, I need to find somebody I have more common interests with. So maybe I'm a little embarrassed that I put my relationship on TV, but there was a lot of pressure from production from my ex, who wanted a little revival in his career, and always tells me that I ruined his career, but I remember quite well everyone saying, Peter Brady, and then after me and after my show, it was Christopher Knight. And I'm like, look at what I did for you. You love me? And I didn't take his money. It's all good. We still talk to each other, but yeah, but he just didn't get it. He'd be like, what the fuck? You're always raining. You're always doing this. I'm like, you golf all the time, and I don't ever. He's like, this is worthless. This will do nothing for you. You'll never go anywhere. And it was 7 years of it. And you know, he actually called me a few months ago. He's like, holy shit, you turned all that crap into a moneymaker. I cannot believe. I'm sorry. I was like, that's awesome. Thanks. I was like, and I'm sorry I was bitched.
You're like,
Eat it, mother. No, he was probably like, I should have held on to her a little longer, see if I could get some paycheck. No, I mean, I don't regret anything I did. If I did any of it now, I would. But I was a kid then. And like, I'm a full-grown adult now and take full responsibility for what I do. But I was a baby, and I acted like one.
Are you in a place now where you're just extremely happy? And this is the last question. Just want to let you know they're making me
I'm
wrap
sorry.
this up.
I didn't know.
I'm very, very happy. Life is good. Stanley's my boss. What the fuck, you know?
That's amazing.
Yeah.
do you have like every time you do a reality show something goes wrong? Do you have any fans that you went to see that things didn't quite turn out the way you hoped? Like, you know, something like, for lack of a better term, you go out and you see some guys like, oh, I got the biggest Star Trek collection in the world, and it ends up it's like Buffalo Bill.
No, actually, we were really good with our casting. First, people submitted on Facebook. After they submitted on, and two of them were my friends, Steve Sansweet from Rancho Obi-Wan and Elliot Sorota, who's the Mandalorian Merc leader in California. And, you know, some people are like, oh my God, you just picked your friends. I'm like, oh, I don't know. They're the biggest nerds in the world. One has the largest Star Wars collection on the planet, and I'm only picking friends. I did choose them over a couple other people that I was iffy about. I was a little scared about them. So next season will be interesting. We were just hoping that this one would be more exciting. Though there was two other people, a guy with a comic book, collection in the middle of effing nowhere in a cow pasture. I was a little worried. He ended up being a really great family man, a real estate mogul, and he just loves comics. So it all worked out, because at first I was like, oh my God, like Deliverance music, like we're in the middle of nowhere, where are we going? It was good. No, it ended up cool, yeah. Not one stabbing.
Awesome. So far.
No, yeah,
So
no.
far.
All right, thanks, guys. Thank you.